Welcome to another episode of Transformation TV. I'm Dr. Josh Axe, and today we're going to be talking about oils. So we'll be talking about unhealthy oils and then using healthy oils specifically. Now there's a lot of unhealthy oils out there you want to stay completely away from. Some of those oils are vegetable oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, anything that says hydrogenated oil, and anything that would say trans fats on it. Basically, some of these fats used to be real fats, they used to be good fat, and they've turned into bad fat. So something like vegetable oil, it may used to be part of a vegetable, but then we hydrogenated it and turned it into a bad fat. And so different oils have different heat thresholds. And so most oils, if they're heated up, it'll actually change their molecular structure. So you can take a good fat and actually turn it into a bad fat by heating it up, and that process is typically called oxidation. Oxidation is, let's say if I took a big bite out of an apple, you'd see that brown happening to the apple. It would start to decay and rot. Same things can happen to oils over time. They can go rancid, also known as oxidation. And most of the oils used today, if you ever go to a fast food restaurant, if you're using canola oil or vegetable oil in your house, if you get a bottle of salad dressing that says soybean oil on it, all those oils are oxidized, which means they're rancid, they're bad fats. And it is so important that you're getting the right sort of fats and oils in your body, because every cell in your body is made up of fat. Your cells have what's called a lipid bilayer. So in order for you to be healthy, you've got to have good fats in your body. And so here are the sort of fats and oils specifically you want to be using. Number one oil you want to be using is olive oil. Okay, you can see here, this is from Spectrum. It's organic, extra virgin olive oil, and it's cold pressed. That's what you're going to be looking at when you're getting olive oil. Is you want it to be extra virgin and cold pressed is the most important thing. So they didn't heat the oil, and this is very, very important with olive oil. Now, I do not recommend you heat olive oil at all. So I don't really cook with olive oil unless I'm going to be doing some, unless I'm going to be keeping it on medium low or a very low heat, because olive oil will oxidize and become a bad fat if you heat it up too much. And so if you start to see it smoke when you're cooking olive oil, that typically means for olive oil that it's oxidizing. You don't want to get it that hot. But again, olive oil cold pressed means that, again, they just pressed it. It was cool at the time, so it has not gone bad. If you have an olive oil brand that's not cold pressed, typically it will be a bad oil. It's not going to be good, and so you want to stay away from it. But I still use olive oil pretty often. I throw it on salads. If I'm cooking eggs real quick, I may use it then, but for the most part, I'm using it on salads and in other recipes. But olive oil, great sort of omega-9 fat, which is great for your body. Another sort of fat, now this is the sort of oil that I typically cook with. If I'm cooking, let's say like an Italian dish, or I want something more like that olive oil flavor when I'm cooking, I use grapeseed oil. Okay, grapeseed oil, the reason why it works better than olive oil with cooking is it has a higher heat threshold, so it's not going to oxidize, and it has similar properties to olive oil, to where it's an omega-9 fat known as a monounsaturated fat, which a lot of health benefits there, good for your joints, good for balancing hormones. But again, grapeseed oil is one of the number one oils that I cook with. Now, my favorite oil of all the oils I use is coconut oil. And unlike grapeseed oil and olive oil, which are omega-9 fats, coconut oil is saturated fat primarily. And the sort of fat in coconut is called lauric acid. It's known as a medium chain triglyceride. And the great thing about coconut is it's one of those things that's really going to help your body burn fat and lose weight. Most fats and oils are 9 calories. Actually, the majority of coconut, it's 8 calories. Calories, it's not that important whether it's 8 or 9, but truthfully, it will help your body burn fat and lose weight. Great. Also, it has a very high heat threshold. So when I'm looking at this, you can see it's organic, unrefined, expeller pressed coconut oil. When you're getting coconut oil, the number one thing you want to be looking for is that it is unrefined. Okay, you don't want it to be refined. When you smell this thing, it should smell like you're on a beach in Tahiti. It should smell like coconut. That's a good thing. That's what you want. This is the number one oil I cook with. It's typically it's always in solid form, unless it's a little bit warmer in your house. Let's say 78 degrees or warmer. Then it may turn into a liquid. But for the most part, it's going to be a solid. When you put it in the skillet, it'll turn into a liquid. This is the best thing you can use for cooking. Now, a few other things you can use. Organic butter is another option. Okay, you can see organic butter there. Organic butter is also primarily good saturated fat. Actually, organic butter has something in it called CLA that's known as conjugated linoleic acid, and CLA is one of the #1 fat loss supplements on the market today. So if you want to be burning fat and losing weight, you can get a lot of those same benefits that you would in the supplements from actually doing raw butter, or specifically raw butter is going to be the best, or organic butter, your next best option. Last oil I want to share with you guys, or cooking substance, is ghee. It's Ghee. This is something that started actually in South Asia, specifically in the region of India. And ghee is also known as clarified butter. And basically what they do is they separate the protein, so they get the casein out. And a lot of people today are allergic to casein in some different dairy products. So oftentimes you can do ghee and be totally fine, because it's basically just the fat of dairy, okay, of the cow. And so ghee, another great thing you can cook with, another good option. Typically you can find these things at Whole Foods, but many stores today are starting to carry the coconut and some of these other oils. And so typically you can go to almost any grocery store today, and specifically in the organic section, and find the healthy oils. So remember, get rid of the bad fats. Check your, specifically go home and look at your salad dressings. Start reading some labels. Get rid of anything that says hydrogenated oil, trans fats, vegetable oil, soybean oil, cottonseed oil. Get rid of those bad oils. Replace them with things like olive oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, and organic or raw butter. You're going to be good to go with eating healthy oils if you make those changes. Thanks for tuning in.